Hello, all. Welcome to Hockey Tap Podcast. My name is Bill Dean. Of course, I'm your host, and I'm here with my three co-hosts, Shorts Guy, Steven, Schwim. We were brought to you by Primetime Radio, courtesy of Mr. Sam Wu. This is episode 202, by the way. I didn't say it before. Edmonton, Florida Cup Rematch. I am off because for some reason, the app that controls this whole shindig is not working properly. So we'll see how this goes. We're brought to you by Primetime Radio, and you can find us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Apple and Google Podcasts, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Please leave us a 5-star review if you'd be ever so kind. Gentlemen, what are we drinking?
I have good news.
Ooh.
Uh-oh.
Yellow flashing lights is done.
I have good news.
Yellow flashing lights is done.
Yes. The battle of excuse me, hold on. Let me start this over. The battle of yellow flashing lights, which was a months-long siege battle against that winter stout, which was a fun and enjoyable siege battle, has finally ended. And that
With
keg
victory.
with victory. I have victoriously unhooked that keg, cleaned all of my lines, and hooked up my fresh keg of Mudhen 1883 IPA, which comes with a the keg comes with a backstory. If you want to hear it, I'll tell it to you. But I haven't had 1883 on tap in a while, so I just picked that up. And this particular keg, I know for a fact, was kegged no more than 3 weeks ago, maybe a little less, or maybe a little bit more, maybe a month at this point. But it's a fresh keg. I can tell you that.
Yeah,
I like
it's
it.
freshly squeezed.
It is.
Freshly squeezed keg.
It is.
Nice.
I'm going just all reliable with 90-minute IPA, and you're going to have to believe that it's in here because I'm not taking it back out of this case.
I'm going to let you guys think I'm drinking a Coors Light because it says it right there.
I do believe one of your co-hosts got you that there, Guy.
I believe you're correct, Guy.
Ah, yes.
That is quite the nice friend. Only
Very
friends
nice guy.
give each other
What a
delicious
Coors Light items.
delicious.
He also
Coors
made a
Light
Coors
items.
Light appear out of thin air one time.
That was probably
That
the
is
best
true.
move I ever made. I didn't make one appear out of nowhere. I made
Multiple Coors Lights.
The look of horror.
I still
and
think
disgust.
the best move is the 61 bottle, which actually was Heineken.
It was a great move.
That was
It
a
was
good
a-
move, yeah.
That was a good move. And I was a very generous guest. That was a nice guest.
You were
Polite
full of
guest,
patootie
not
that you
generous.
I was
thought
very
we'd be.
polite.
polite.
Yeah, I was
Very
very polite.
polite. You continued to drink it despite knowing it wasn't right.
I should have caused the scene, but I
You
didn't.
should have
Yes.
caused. You should have. That was your own fault.
I should have taken my pants off and caused the scene.
Your own damn vault.
I mean, your pants have been off in this house before, so it would be
That's
a
true.
first.
That's true.
All right. I am going because it's such a beautiful day outside. 70 degrees. It was fantastic this afternoon. Lawson's finest sip of sunshine.
It's a good one.
Nice. Haven't
Yep,
had that in a while.
8%. It is a delicious, delicious beer. Keep cold and always enjoy fresh. All right, let's go to tap for today's episode. Here's our weekly snapshot. Cup final rematch. I know Steven's extremely excited for this
Yeah.
series.
He told me
itself.
so. He told me he couldn't wait.
Yep.
And I had to tell him to stop
Um,
telling me. I'm like, Steven, I know you're so excited. Stop telling me like every few minutes how excited you are for the final.
Steven
We-
is
we
so
weren't here
excited
last
he
week.
almost ate bacon.
He went and made bacon.
He celebrated
almost-
shrimp.
He almost celebrated
Uh,
with a piece of bacon.
Yeah. Listen, I wanted Dallas and Florida. I thought those were the two best teams. But I do, and this actually kind of is for Steven. You continually show your disgust for the Edmonton Oilers
Mm-hmm.
and the way they are conceived, right? The way they are constructed. And everything. Yeah.
Yes.
When do you start to give them kudos and give them props for now 2 years in a row making a Stanley Cup final. This team altogether, I think, is a little different. Their goalie is playing better. We don't like Skinner, right? I think all four of us agree Skinner's not a good goalie, but he's playing good. He's playing
I
well.
think his stats.
They're
I think his stats are still terrible, aren't they? Based on that first round.
But my question to you: stats. The only stat that matters is W's in the playoffs. Do they care that he's let up 3 goals as long as he gets wins? But on top of that, their defense has played well, and their studs are playing well, and they're getting, they're getting decent secondary scoring, not named McJesus and Draisaitl. So when do you start to give them kudos and props for doing what they're doing? And this really goes for everybody. That's which myself too. I don't think that they should be this good.
When and if they win the cup.
Okay. All right.
That's when I'll. But even then, like I wouldn't like. You look at a team like if they beat Florida, I still think everyone's going to take Florida as the blueprint of how to build a team. I don't think anyone's going to take Edmonton because you just can't because Edmonton has McDavid and Draisaitl, and it's literally the only reason why they are where they are. Otherwise, I mean, an injury to one of them and they're out of these playoffs already. They've had. I know Nugent Hopkins has had a good playoffs. Skinner had a good round, a good series against Dallas. I honest to God, I don't know. I know Ottinger was bad. Like
Skinner outplayed him.
No, Skinner didn't outplay him. He was just bad.
He did. He won the games.
Well, I guess because he won. Yeah, sure, he outplayed him because Ottinger was bad and Skinner wasn't as bad, right? But the stats were good. He had a good series. I don't know what happened to Dallas in that series. For the times I chimed in to look at some of the game, it was everything. It was uninteresting, basically from start to finish. All of those games, I guess, unless you're an Edmonton Oilers fan. But there was just like nothing exciting about either of these last 2 series at all.
Yeah, well, we kind of knew that Carolina, and we can get in that series later. That we didn't think was going to end very well for them.
This playoffs have. I mean, I'm hoping. I think I told you, Schwim, that I would be shocked. And this sounds bad coming from a hockey podcaster, but I would be shocked if I watched 5 minutes of this Stanley Cup final.
Really?
I'm so uninterested. And I'm not going to try to.
Down
I'm not going to. Yeah, viewership. I mean, first of all, yes, viewership is very, very much down. But also, you have to. Yeah. Viewership doesn't include Canada. So the stats that we're getting, the viewership stats that we're getting, doesn't include Canada. So you kind of have to take it with a grain of salt because I think in Canada viewership is through the roof. So it's kind of a balancing act. But the NHL is really banking on U.S. viewership, not so much Canadian viewership. But that being said, like I said, because these last 2 series were horribly uninteresting. I don't know where I was going before that. I just going by like that. I'm probably not going to watch much of this. Like I'm not going to try to convince anybody to not watch it. This is literally just a personal preference. Like I just don't care about either of these teams at this point because Edmonton has been, and I've been saying it the whole playoffs, just annoying the hell out of me. I don't really want to see Florida win, although Florida is, and probably like I was saying, like when you're going to build a model of what your team should be to compete in the playoffs, Florida is that team. Like every team now is going to try to model Florida's system, Florida's makeup of their roster. Just to
they're
going to
go after some of their players in this free agency.
Well, that too. They're going to lose, and that inevitably that happens, especially when you either go to consecutive cups or win consecutive cups. You're going to lose some of your players. It just ends up happening because you retain players, you don't trade them because you're going to make a cup run, and then they end up walking in free agency. But you won the cup, so all is great. So they might lose some of their guys, and so who knows how they'll be next season. But this could be, their last like little hurrah. But every time you have teams that have this much success, it happened with the Penguins, it happened with the Lightning, it happened with the Kings when the Kings were going, and well, Chicago was more of a powerhouse as far as star power.
Yeah.
But anyway, I don't know. A lot of people want McDavid to win a cup. I honestly don't care whether or not he does. Maybe I'm a bad hockey fan. I don't know. Maybe I'm just bitter. I'm a bitter old man in my elder years here, but I'm
You are
I'm
crotchety.
really I'm tired. I'm tired of these two teams already. I'm just like so
Yeah.
tired of them.
You said you just talked about quickly Chicago. I had this stat for you guys before. Chicago, Jonathan Taves. Obviously, everyone. Patrick Kane was the legit star of that team, but Jonathan Taves, obviously, someone going to probably be in the Hall of Fame or close to it. Playoff MVP, so on and so forth. He had 119 points in his entire playoff career. Connor McDavid in just 3 years has 120. That
I'm sure
is
if you even,
bonkers.
I mean, they've made some pretty deep runs, right, over the last couple of years, especially.
Yeah,
I mean, back-to-back Cup finals, and I think they lost in the conference finals the year prior,
yeah.
if I'm
Your
not
prize
mistaken.
conference.
So
Yep.
that's, I mean, that's a lot. That's a lot of hockey. But of course, he's gonna like McDavid. He just is a point scoring machine. He's just never not going to get points. I mean, you watch some of the like his assists, and even as good as he is, he'll literally like the puck will just like hit off his skate blade, and he gets an assist. So you see a lot of things where the play develops without him having anything to do with the play. So he's just perpetually involved. Even if he's barely trying, he's still involved in some capacity. But him and Draisaitl both, as far as their point production in these last 3 years, have been ridiculous. But going back to those stats, where people weren't scoring as much in the playoffs
Yeah.
back then. So
Let's talk. Well, let's talk about someone not scoring this round. Mikko Rantanen. Mikko Rantanen had
dried up.
17 of his 22
Mm-hmm.
playoff points came in just 5 games. He only finished with 5 points in the other 13 games, including 1 point against Edmonton.
yeah,
Yeah,
I don't think
he's
anybody
amazing.
else is going to be good.
in
So
that series.
Yeah, 1 goal over his final
I
10
can't fault
playoff
him.
games, scoreless in 8 straight. That's yeah.
The whole
And
team was
we
bad.
know that Rupe Hintz
The whole
was
team was
hurt.
bad.
Yeah. They didn't get any
Any
secondary.
Malkin
Like
did not look good.
Wyatt Johnston was not good. We talked about Jason Robertson. Like I said, Hintz was hurt. Their defense, Harley, scored, but and I know that what's his name, Hushkin just came back from injury, but Shorts guy, just from the perspective of their goaltender, you have DeBoer coming out saying he has lost 5 games to Edmonton, and that's
Yeah,
why
and
he
a lot
pulled
of
them
a
in
lot
that
of the
game.
players were not happy with his comments.
Yeah, they weren't happy.
And he's
Yeah,
got a year left on his
fifth.
contract.
Yep.
He could be tootled.
Thoughts on
Yeah.
him, Shorts guy? You think this is something? Is this the next Patty Waugh? Does he want to leave because he has a shitty coach?
Well, I want to say that it's a different situation because I think that Dallas front office will probably stick with Ottinger much sooner than
Yeah.
they'll stick with Pete DeBoer. This is not like back then in the old Montreal Forum days in 90. What was it, 95, 6? This is completely different. This is they've got a lot more money wrapped up in these players, and I don't think that they're going to, especially with the amount of really good goaltenders that are in the league and how hard it is to get them. My team knows that better than a lot of teams. Well, I mean, my team knows that very well with the Devils, and we've taken forever to find a good goalie, and Edmonton can't find one, but they also can't afford one. But then you see what Toronto's done. They're probably not going to look because they can't, because they can't afford it. So it's like, what's the point of even trying? And then you got Toronto that's throwing, I would say just now would be average money at a goaltender, and it's not working out either. So there's no way that they'll stick with DeBoer over Ottinger. Does it suck that he said that? Yeah, the other players are not pleased. Like, to me, that sounds like that's something that you keep in the room, but at the same time, it's if it's fact, it's fact as well. Like, he didn't look good. He really didn't look good. I don't know what was said between the two of them. I don't know if maybe they got into an argument, and that was DeBoer, saying something a little bit out of aggravation. But we all remember back to when DeBoer kind of, like the graphic implied, stabbed Flower in the back, and then that was the end of Flower in Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
Don't think it's going to see Ottinger leaving, but it's.
Can we also point something out, not just defense? Like, DeBoer has a much longer track record of failure than Ottinger has. So if anybody should be speaking about, failures about not winning.
Yeah,
So,
getting to
should-
finals. I
should
know that one
DeBoer-
too.
Should Ottinger even have been pulled? I was questioning
So
that whole decision.
DeBoer has now been eliminated in the
I don't think
conference
he should've.
finals in 6 of his past 7 seasons. San Jose Sharks in 18-19, round 3. Vegas 2 years in a row, 19 and 20, round 3. He missed the playoffs in 21-22. That's why he got fired by Vegas. And then 3 straight years of conference finals with Dallas.
And he lost in the Cup Finals with us.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
He's
with
a
San
joker.
Jose, no? Didn't he lose against Pittsburgh?
No, he was round 3. No, he was not.
Yeah, it was in
I don't think
the
he was the
conference, not in the Stanley Cup.
Who was their
No,
coach
he-
when
he-
I don't remember who San Jose's coach was.
Yeah, it might have been
Pittsburgh
DeBoer
beat-
actually.
DeBoer can't get over that hump. It just.
Yeah, so don't go out publicly and start calling out your goaltender because, look at yourself in the mirror. I understand, and I even said it with, in defense of Sullivan, that at some point your players have to go out and execute properly. And if they're not doing that, then, you can only do so much as a coach. But at the same time, that's a lot of failure.
It was
okay?
DeBoer.
So you haven't won anything. Okay? So maybe, look at yourself in the mirror and try to figure out, what am I doing wrong where I'm getting here and I just cannot win? Because now it's multiple teams across multiple very good teams that he hasn't been able to win. So
Yeah,
I'm team Ottinger right now, even though he
Oh
was.
yeah,
Yeah, no.
absolutely.
I
think we're all
I
Team
agree. I just think Ottinger needs to figure out why he just kind of disappeared in the conference
Yeah.
finals. Ottinger's stewing over that right now. It's something that he
and
would like
he
to be able
knows
to win.
and have that
Yeah,
discussion
all
in the
these
locker room.
players know.
Everybody knows, and it's not like one of those
Yeah.
things that it's fact, and it's just he's saying it is fact. But yeah, it doesn't the coach DeBoer saying it out loud isn't proving it to any of us that we saw that Ottinger was bad. You just don't go out in front of all the press and be like, yeah, he was essentially the reason why we lost the series, and essentially the reason why we lost both series, right? Both the last 2 years. So give me a break there.
The only thing that I'll say in defense of DeBoer with that is, unless he knows that Ottinger does well with this type of criticism as a motivator, which I don't know. I mean, Pete DeBoer would know that better than any of the 4 of us would know that. Is it the
why
best
not
way to
call him
go?
out previously?
No, he should have been.
Yeah, because he didn't have an outstanding playoffs, Ottinger. So there could have been times where he called him out and says that he needs to be better to see if he, gets better in the course of playoffs. Not when you're, eliminated and you're whatever. But and I'm not even going to blame frustrations or he's heated in the moment. I'm not a fan of public. I'm not a fan of public call-outs because it's always if a player calls out a coach, it's the player who's spoiled and it's the player's fault. If the coach calls out a player, it's the player's fault. So it's just it's always the players are absolutely never allowed to say it, right? That's blasphemous if you call out your GM or your coach. All of a sudden you're just this spoiled brat, right? But if the coach does it, then all of a sudden everybody has to take it seriously. I'm not buying any of this crap.
A couple more stats on this, and then we can go from there.
Why are you gonna get me mad every week, Dean? You have to get me mad, don't you?
You're gonna need a second 90 guy.
I know, right? Good thing I have another one in the fridge.
I saw this shocker. The team playing $10+ million to Cody Ceci, Matt Dumba, and Ilya Lyubushkin are having trouble defending in the playoffs. I thought that was very funny. And then. So we'll get into cup final stuff in a minute, but I had one more thing on them, and I thought it was good, and I'm trying to remember where I put it. Of course, great podcasting. Corey Perry, because obviously he's done pretty well.
Now Schwemm's triggered. Here we go.
A favorite player of this podcast.
Just want to trigger everybody that he knows.
I guess that's what we're doing today.
Most playoff games since 2000, the year 2000. San Jose Sharks 204, Boston Bruins 208, Tampa Bay Lightning 218, Pittsburgh Penguins 219, Corey Perry 230. The guy's just and we obviously he plays the game dumb. And former 50-goal scorer Art Ross guy, and was he MVP? Did he win MVP? Or was that?
I don't think he won a Hart. I think he won a. No, he never won an Art
He
Ross.
won-
I think he won a Rocket though.
Or
Didn't
he
he
won
win
the
a
scoring
Rocket?
Rocket. Sorry, he won Rocket. Yeah, but very good player in his own right. But
Allegations
the
with
guy-
Bernard's mom.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Algus Bridges. He's got
Alleged
7 goals in the
relations.
playoffs. Yeah, he's playing very well for them. So we don't give him a lot of credit because we don't.
He's a power
we're
play
not overly.
specialist, right?
Yeah.
just a-
He plays
Net
on
power
front
play
guy now.
goals.
He plays on the top power play.
He's net
He had
front.
got 7
four
goals.
power play goals.
In this
4 power
playoffs,
play.
four
Yeah,
of his 7
goals,
are power play.
for the
I
7.
think all 7 of his goals are him just standing in front of the net and
Yeah.
tipping a puck in.
I think
It's
credit has
possible.
to be given to him. I think he's done. I don't think it goes. It's a claim on his. I think he's a useful player as like that. You throw him on a 4th line and then you put him on your top power play because he's good in the net front. But I think he's just been him and his agent. I guess apparently have been very good at choosing destinations. Right. So he's been
Yeah.
Everywhere he goes
smart.
to the final.
Even when he went to Chicago. And granted, I don't know what happened with Chicago, but I'm assuming he went to Chicago with the intention of being traded to a contender at the trade deadline, hoping to be. So I think he's done a good job selecting the teams that he's signing these 1-2 year contracts with all these years.
But he's another one though. I know he's won the cup already, but he went to the He went to the finals with Montreal, Tampa, Dallas,
Tampa.
Yep.
Edmonton,
twice.
Edmonton twice.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it is not won since one of your cups, Swim, or was that the
No.
Ducks? Is his only
No,
cup?
he
He was
never-
on
he
the-
never-
he was on the Ducks.
He was like
Then
that was the whole
he came to
running
Tampa when
joke.
they
He was
went
like
for the
allergic
third
to
one.
the
Yeah.
cup.
That's when they lost.
Yeah.
Yeah. Playoff
So,
goals.
talk,
He's a cooler.
talk about another one that can get to like the last 20 yards.
He's made
to the finish line.
he's
and-
made 5 of the last 6 cup finals, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Including this one, right? Yeah.
Playoff goals in
Wow.
those 5 of 6 years, Steven. Evgeny Malkin has 4. Crosby has 5. Marner has 8. Ovechkin has 12. Matthews has 16. Corey Perry 24. Guy
Out of
just
what
he's
the last 5 years, Crosby and
Last
Malkin
5
haven't
years.
played a
I know.
playoff
It was-
game in 3 years.
3 years. But I just like how they take those players and put them in there because they haven't played.
Yeah, why not, right?
Yeah, why not? Zach
I think they
Hyman.
played-
I don't know if
I think they were out in round 1. Was it out in round 1, out in round 1, and then having the last 3 years? But yeah, sure. Okay.
Yeah. Obviously, Zach Hyman will not be playing in the series. The cup final coming up. He had that. I think he had separated his shoulder and had surgery. But
That's a
one of the
weird
craziest stats: Zach Hyman's career high in an 82 game season is 117 hits. Did you guys see this?
Yeah, I saw this.
In the 14 games in 2024-25 playoffs that he played, he had 109.
Yeah, I don't. Hits are weird though. It all depends on who's
Yeah,
tracking
who
them.
records them?
So
Yeah,
because if it's a lot of he's playing at home and whoever's tracking hits at home is, counting any bit of contact as a hit, then so hits are weird. It's a weird stat because it's subjective. So even now, when you talk about hits leaders on the season and stuff like that, it's all you never know. So if the hits leaders are off by a handful of hits, it's all because of whoever's tracking them.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's a weird stat. And so it almost shouldn't even be a stat, but whatever.
A Florida team has now reached the Cup Finals in each of the last 6 years. Tampa, the first 3.
Mm-hmm.
They won 2 cups, 2 Mickey Mouse Cups, and then finally Florida 2023, Panthers 2024.
I got this guy egging me on over here. He's won one Stanley Cup in friggin' 160 years. I don't want to hear a damn thing. You got one
all
cup.
right, so coincidence or not, Stanley Cup coincidence or not, twice in
Rangers aren't
45
there?
years. Yep, it's
Is it a
coincidence.
coincidence?
Twice in 45 years, teams met back-to-back for Stanley Cups. In 83, Gretzky and Edmonton lost to the Islanders. 84, Gretzky and Edmonton beat the Islanders. 2008, Crosby plays Detroit and loses. 2009, Crosby plays Detroit and wins. 2024, McDavid loses to Edmonton. 2025,
He lost to Edmonton? Wow.
Florida.
No, we get it. We get it.
So yeah, will he become the next great one to win a cup after losing the previous season?
It's going to be a very different series, I think, because, last one
it will
Florida
be.
went up 3-0, right? And then Edmonton
Yeah.
came back. So I think it'll be more of a should at least be more of a back and forth. But again, I still think Florida is a far superior team. So
what player is Florida going to knock
win.
out of the series in Game 1?
Ooh.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Stuart
Hyman's
Skinner?
already out, so who's next?
They picked somebody.
Could be the
Pickard
goalie,
actually
yeah.
played. Pickard actually played better for a couple games before Skinner got put back in.
Pickard,
So I don't know. That might help him.
He was playing really, really well.
Yeah.
So if they needed to go to him, it's kind of like half of one's, half dozen the other, 6 of one, half dozen the other, whatever the hell that phrase is.
Well,
It's
Skinner could
McDermott's
resort back to round one. Skinner.
He could.
He
absolutely.
very well could.
McDavid points per playoff game percentage: 0 points, 22%; 1 point, 27%; 2+ points, 51%. All right, Stephen.
Okay.
Yes,
Oh,
Stephen, you had said the stat prior, and I just lost it because I'm a jerk. Your old stud, Jaromir Jagr. You want to give that stat?
Oh yeah, how was it? It's 45.
45.
45.
He's played with 45 consecutive years that a Jagr teammate has played in the Cup final. This is once again Barkov.
Teammate?
Barkov.
Okay.
Barkov.
Yeah.
His first was Brian Trottier, obviously Penguins. That would have been the Island. 80 was Penguins, right? Oh no, 80 was Islanders. It started with the Islanders. Yeah. So I'll give you the list quickly. It goes Trottier, Messier, Mullen, Messier, Yuri Herdina, Messier, Lemieux, JJ Daigneault, Mark Messier, Tom Chorsky, Scott Young, Doug Brown, Benoit Hogue, Scotty Gomez, Chris Drury, Brendan Shanahan, Jay Pandolfo, Pavel Kubina, Mark Recchi, Sean Thornton, Andreas Lilia, Peter Sikora, Christopher Stieg, Recchi, Willie Mitchell, Dan Carcillo, William Mitchell, Christopher Stieg, Cullen, Alex Chason, Braden Shen, Braden Coburn, John Merrill, Andre Palat, who he played with in the Olympics. They had to do that way. And then finally, Barkov.
Really? Oh, I don't like that.
Wow.
So you think
I don't like
cheating?
the Olympic one. Yeah, I think that's kind of a...
Well, you think it is to be former NHL
teammate?
Yeah.
It does say former
NHL
teammate. Yeah.
But, all right. I didn't realize that. But I'm sure there's also... Well, that was...
there has to be probably someone else.
That specific year. Yeah, that specific year. No, that year, probably that's the only one. But some of those other years, there's probably more than one. But
it's definitely more than one.
It's just wild stat.
Because he was... I can't remember...
Random.
He was on
and who even finds that out? How do you even find that out?
I have no idea. Yeah, what idiot was going through that and was like, "Oh shit, that works."
Yeah, and then to back like not only to like going from the beginning of his career, but to backdate it, like to even say, well, what about before?
Trottier played and he was, yeah, that's pretty funny.
That was before he was even in the league. So, but yeah, it's a wild. It's a wild stat. I'm not crazy about. I think that one is kind of pushing it a little bit.
All right, and one more for Steven because I actually saw this and I was very impressed. Mario Lemieux's draft eligible season. Did you see this, Steven?
No. Continue.
84 games played. 84 games played, including the playoffs. He was playing for, I don't remember actually. 84 games played, 162 goals, 334 points. Now, this is the crazy part. Wait till you hear this one. His line mate had 199 points, then became a cop and never played again.
I saw that. Oh, yeah, I did see this. Like, how wild is that?
Oh, man.
He had 199 points as a junior his final year and then didn't even make it past that.
Wow.
Like, that's fantastic.
Wow. What was
I
that
saw
guy's
that.
name?
I was like, I wish I'll have to go through and look. I'll find the guy. Yeah. That was very funny. I saw that.
My Mario. Super Mario.
Yeah, but he's so good. We'll go over the Olympic stuff in a little bit because I did see the groupings, which is interesting, but we can go over that another time before obviously the finals.
They have groupings ready for the Olympics?
Yep.
A year from now, right? No.
Yeah.
Wait, when are the Winter Olympics? February?
Like 10 months?
It's less than a year. Yeah.
10 months, something like that.
Jack Eichel leaves Buffalo and wins the Cup in 2023. Jeff Skinner leaves Buffalo. Maybe he wins. Who knows?
No, I mean it was a season.
Or
I guess he had a season in between. Because remember he went to Vegas and that was the season Vegas missed the playoffs, and it was just like, of course, Eichel just goes and can't make the playoffs
that's right.
again.
Yeah.
The one season they don't make the playoffs
Yeah.
is when he went there.
All right, let's talk about that other
JJ.
shitty series, which was Hurricanes getting manhandled. Hurricanes got their first win in the Eastern Conference Final in June 1st, 2006. After that, they lost 16 straight conference finals games. They got swept 3 times.
Oh, 16.
15, sorry.
Oh,
yeah, 16.
Yeah, no, it was they got swept. No,
3
yeah,
times.
no, they lost. Oh, what were they saying? No, I think it was 15 consecutive.
It was 15 because
they
lost. They got swept 3 in a row, and then they lost the first 3.
Yeah. So the last time they were in the
But I
East,
thought
the
they
last time they
also-
were in the
they
Eastern
lost-
Conference Finals, I think they won it. That was when they went to Edmonton, right? I think that was the last time they were in the Eastern Conference
Was
Final.
that the June 1st, 2006?
When they won the
beat
cup,
Florida?
right?
Is that when they won the
Yeah.
cup, right? And then since
Yeah,
then
when
they
okay.
lost.
All right,
And they
so
got
15.
then they got swept by
they got
swept
in
by
their next 3.
Pittsburgh. Yeah, swept by Pittsburgh, swept by Florida. Who was the other sweep?
Rangers.
Rangers swept them. Yeah, so
Yeah.
and then they were down 3-0. Yeah, so 15 straight. So 16-1 or 1-16 in the last
116.
4 series. What a friggin' nightmare! I don't know what what that team's gonna do.
Well, people were asking about Rob Brindamore and if like he lost the locker room. He is the locker room, so maybe they should just get better players to come around them.
I don't think he definitely hasn't lost the locker room, but it's got to be something about his system. It has to be that he keeps having he's had
they tried to acquire a superstar,
seasons.
and look what happened. He didn't want to stay there.
Yeah. And
now now they're going for Mitch Marner. I think they're aiming for Mitch Marner probably.
I heard Vegas, and that it could be
Vegas,
a real.
LA.
They scare me. I think Vegas is very him go to Vegas. I think they would win because he would change.
Well, Vegas is already very good, but yeah, I mean, there's another center, right? They have
him?
Jack Eichel and Marner is 1 and 2 or 1A and 1B. He's going to play
probably
wing.
play wing. Yeah, he's a winger.
Who is their
He's been a winger the last 3 years.
I don't know who the number 2 center is. Oh, I thought he was a center, like a natural center.
I think he is a natural center, but I think he would change over wing like 3 years ago, and he hasn't. I mean, they could, I guess, move him there, but obviously they have William Karlsson. He's their 3rd line center.
Is Hurdle a center? Oh no, Mark
he's a
Stone.
winger.
Isn't he a center? Oh no, wait, he's a winger.
He's a winger.
No, he's a right wing.
Oh, they have Hurdle on here actually.
I guess
so.
So
I guess
it was
center?
Marshall, I think. Or Chandler Stevenson. Oh, Chandler Stevenson, I think is up there.
He left.
Oh, that's right. He
He's
went
gone.
to. That's right. He's gone.
He's in
I forgot about
Seattle.
that, sorry.
Seattle.
They have Karlsson, Cole Schwinn, Eichel, and Hurdle as their centers. But I thought Hurdle was a winger.
What's Schwinn doing over there?
Seriously,
I signed a minor league deal.
Cole Schwint.
Get a little extra cash.
Oh, brother.
Yeah.
How come there's no Estebans in the league?
There are no Estebans.
We need an Esteban. We need a Giuseppe.
You had Seth Jarvis was asked one of the only funny things if what he thought about Nikishin and Stankoven's performances.
Oh yeah,
and if he remembers playing at the age in the Eastern Conference Finals, he goes, "I'm only a year older than these guys. It's not like I'm 40."
He's literally a year older. I have no idea. They do no research.
Was that a Leah Hextall question? Because it sounds like it.
It's not Leah Hextall.
How did you do with the thing? The thing.
Yeah,
the thing. Your dad died recently. How was that for you? I'll never forget that. At the friggin' draft, the kid from Chicago, his dad just passed away, and she asked him that was her first question. Kid just got drafted into the NHL, 2nd overall, and their first question is asking about it.
I'm really I'm blown away
that?
by where I feel like there's no way they can be doing this on purpose because I feel like they're giving specifically women a really bad name in the industry because I don't know where because there are the amount across all of sports, the amount of female journalists, beat writers, whatever. There are so many great ones.
Phenomenal ones.
Really, really, really
How
great
do these
ones.
ones make it to the top?
How?
On TV
Yes.
all the
How
time?
do they
I
get
don't
there?
Get it.
Is it? Are they forcing
Probably-
us to be like, we just don't want it? Are they forcing the whole this boys league or the old man league or whatever the hell you want to call it to just be like, women are awful and just? But I don't get it. And even the other women like can't stand her. She's just, well, not even she. There's a handful of them that have come through these broadcast teams that have been such little knowledge, such terrible personable skills.
Is it come down to
It
money?
blows my mind.
Because,
I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is.
Any of the better ones are going to cost more, but she won't.
I can't imagine. There's some ones that are in. There's specifically one in the DK Pittsburgh Sports broadcast, or not broadcast team, but writing team, that she is so good and so knowledgeable. Every single article she writes is incredible. The way that she writes, and I mean it's different from being on the bench reporter or whatever, but I don't know. I don't get it. I really, really don't get it. And not even, like, I'm not going to say it's just them, because they have the broadcast teams that they pick are also completely atrocious with a handful of maybe like 2 or 3. So
Max,
I don't know.
Max did the homework.
They're doing.
Jacques Goyette was the teammate turned cop. So thank you, Max.
All right.
Thank you, Max.
awesome.
Max says
Max,
Erica Wachter.
No wonder that guy didn't make it.
Yes,
His freaking name.
I agree with Max.
Jacques.
100% agree with Max.
Erica Wachter, national. So the series starts Wednesday.
Why can't she get more airtime? She's good.
Yeah.
She is. She's very good.
Yeah.
Wednesday, 8 p.m. would be the season start. The series start. So, gents, your opinion on the series?
I'm not giving one.
I think Florida's going to win.
You've
opinion on
given
the series.
yours. Yeah.
I already gave mine.
Yeah, you
I'm
did.
done.
You don't care.
TV off.
Yeah, TV off.
Wow. Steven might actually
What's
watch a
your
TV series during.
I might put on a TV series
Oh.
instead.
Hey.
Put on that.
Yeah, slow horses. Slow horses.
Yeah, there you go.
Gary
Let us know
Oldman.
who wins.
Highly recommend it.
That's like the choice
all right,
between
Shrimp.
Mountain Dew and crab juice.
Shrim, what's your thoughts on the series? Barkov just won the Selke and the Clancy.
Yeah, I saw that he won
I
the
saw that.
Selke pretty handedly.
He's
good.
I
don't know if you
Wait,
saw
which
the
one's a
votes.
Clancy?
That's the
Is that like
most gentlemanly. Isn't that
sportsmanship
most
or some shit?
gentlemanly?
Yeah, it's
something
Lady
like that.
Bing, isn't it?
Oh, leadership. Leadership is King Clancy. It's not
Lady
the
Bing
Messier one. It's the other one.
Oh,
is no penalty, or like the least penalized play or whatever.
what were we talking? Oh yeah,
well deserved. Well deserved.
Serious?
Selkie.
Thoughts?
He's so good.
Thoughts on the finals, Schwim?
Yeah. Again, I don't know how much I'm gonna watch of it either. I'll probably tune in a little more than Steven will. But
Yeah.
I'm in the boat also where I'm like, I'm not crazy about this final again, especially since it happened last year. I know pick wise, I'm doing my usual. My head or my heart I want Edmonton to win, but my brain is picking Florida. I'm not picking against Florida.
I guess Florida's a rival, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I hate them, obviously, for obvious reasons. But
Either way that it goes, the outcome. Do you think it? If McDavid wins, do you think he stays or goes? Or if he loses, do you think he stays or goes? Like, do you think?
I hope
the outcome of the series affects
I
where
want
he's
them to
going to
lose because I want to see him leave. I would love to see him go somewhere
I do
else. Just
too.
for
If they'll open, they'll check.
good theater.
Well, if they pay him, they open their checkbook and pay him, $20 million a year. He's staying.
Anyone can do that, though.
Yeah, but I mean, he's already there. I don't know what his family status is.
He's never leaving. There's no way. If he's winning a cup with that team, there's no way he's leaving.
So I know
don't know
Toronto
if
fans.
Gretzky
I've
did
seen
it.
this all over the place. That he's from Toronto area. They now have a boatload of money. If they left it open, could you see him going there to his hometown team? Like,
Maybe.
there's
Not anytime soon. I can't picture him like all of a sudden
yeah.
up and going to another team. Not
doesn't
now.
seem
I think if he
maybe
wins,
later on.
if he wins, it's easier for him to stay there. If he loses, I think
Yeah.
he
That's what
really
I'm saying.
thinks
If he
about it.
loses, I think it's
Yeah.
going to keep festering.
But you'd pick a franchise that is closer to winning, right? If he's going to leave, and
Yeah, I mean,
Is Toronto that? Do you really want to go to Toronto?
It's going to be the same situation. No goaltending.
You have enough of a headache in Edmonton with everything that's gone on.
They haven't been to a Stanley Cup final since there were 6 teams in the league. That's the last time they were in a Stanley Cup final, when there were 6 teams in the league.
And what's his personality? What would his personality be like in the Toronto media market? Like, it would just be a disaster.
A lot more attention.
Like, his personality
has much of a personality.
He doesn't seem. He doesn't seem like he's. Yeah, he doesn't seem like he's loyal to a city. Honestly.
Yeah.
So I don't know that he has that. Like, I love Edmonton and I want to stay in Edmonton. He might say it, but yeah, I don't know.
I mean,
this is.
I honestly don't know.
I
think either way, you could leave.
Like Tavares said it. I'm an Islander and I want to be here. I'm not leaving. Blah blah blah. And he immediately signs with Toronto.
This is 2 years from now, but Vegas will have roughly 70 million in cap. Tampa will have 60 million in cap.
Vegas.
Dallas will have 60. Rangers 60. Toronto 60. Devils, Carolina 60. Like
you said, Tampa's gonna have 60 million in cap. I can tell you right now, there's no way they're gonna have 60 million in cap. They're not gonna have any. They're gonna have single-digit cap and no draft picks by that time.
Yeah, you're also like anybody having 60 million in cap. Like they don't have a roster, so that's not.
Yeah, but I'm just saying
2 years from now,
those are teams that could possibly.
And he's probably going to take, and he's probably going to get a pay raise when the contract is up.
Yeah.
Which is 12 and a half now?
Absurd.
Is he 12 and a half or 14 and a half right now?
No, he's not 14. He is
it's at least 12, right?
26, 27. Hold on.
I thought it was 12 and a half.
He's 12 and a half. Yeah. Draisaitl's 14.
He's going to get at least 15 or more.
He's going to get 15.
Yeah.
I think he gets 15
easily.
I mean, 2 years from now,
pay him
cap
15.
goes up, he might even get more than that.
Yeah,
we know you would.
Of course, the Rangers would. The Rangers would pay anybody.
Pittsburgh would too. In a heartbeat.
Well, at this point,
4 of our teams.
At this point, I would.
Hey, if you want to pay him 15, you better.
At this point, you would. You would have done 15? It last year or the year before too.
Dean, if you're going to pay him 15, you better get used to having Rempe in the lineup every night.
If I'm paying him 2 years
first
ago,
line. If you're paying him,
everyone's talking. Literally, everyone's talking. If it was 2 years, if it was 2 years ago, and you're telling me I would pay him $15 million a year, that I don't know what the percentage of the cap that is. It would be impossible to make a team based on that. And if you still had like a Crosby, a Malkin, Letang, who are still eating up, like if you put in Crosby, Malkin, Letang, and McDavid's salaries together 2 years ago, if he's
they're
making
only
15,
4 players that could play.
Yes, they will not have a roster.
They have to play one line for 60 minutes. I don't know if
that's essentially what Edmonton has now. Edmonton has Draisaitl, McDavid, Darnell Nurse makes 9.5.
Right. Maybe he comes to Pittsburgh then.
What
I'm saying is that, like, if he's coming to Pittsburgh, but at that time he's going to be 30. He's obviously not going to be a bad player, but he's going to be 30 years old, making $15 million for 8 years. Yeah, because isn't he 28?
No, he's 20. Oh yeah, he's just turned 28. Yeah,
28. Yeah.
So he'll be 29 at the end of next year.
He'll be okay. No, his contract's up at yes, that's right, at the end of next year.
Yeah,
so I don't know. Well, I mean, granted, if he comes over and he makes that much, if obviously hypothetical, I have absolutely all confidence in the world it would never happen. But if he comes over to Pittsburgh and makes $15 million next season, when basically everyone's retiring, then I'm cool with it. It's like the last hurrah kind of. But if I had a team that 2 years ago, it wouldn't make any sense. But like if I'm taking on one guy to build a roster around because my entire roster is retiring and giving him $15 million and it's Connor McDavid, then yes, fine. Because I'm not going to have another guy making $14 million that's the 2C or his winger or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Trade Crosby to Colorado, do some other moves, and then sign McDavid. Done.
There we go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Obviously, he's signing in New York with every other free agent this summer because that's where they're all going to sign. It's going to be some creative.
If you follow that, whatever I don't know what Devils thing I keep sending you or who posts or if it's multiple people posting, whatever it is, it's literally like for the last 4 weeks, it has been every single player, whether under contract or not, is a good fit for the Devils. Every single player, restricted free agent, every single restricted free agent is going to get an offer sheet. Cap casualties are coming.
Yep.
Mitch Marner's coming. It's just everybody's coming.
All the Hughes
and I'm
are
just
coming.
like, what is happening here? Like, I like discussions about hypotheticals. It's fine, but at some point it gets a little bit too much if you're talking about every single player that's being talked about could be.
I mean,
over.
you didn't hear that mid-90s Dominic Hasek is coming back in Pog form?
Marty's coming.
Yeah,
Marty's coming.
Back in time. We're swiping him back in time and teleporting him back.
Who's going to be the first team to teleport somebody from the past or the future to their team?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know which team builds the magic toaster first.
Yeah.
Who's the first non-Brazilian person to travel back in time to play for the New Jersey Devils?
Oh goodness.
Pretty good stuff.
Good old Simpsons.
Yep.
All right.
Single-digit seasons. Don't watch anything double-digit or higher.
Yeah.
10's okay.
10 is okay.
Right there.
My prediction.
10's okay.
It's after 12 where it just falls off a cliff.
I think double digits. It starts. You notice a difference, and then
you notice a difference, but it falls off a cliff after 12.
I don't even remember 11.
I don't even know what you guys are talking about anymore.
We're talking about The Simpsons. Sorry.
Yeah, Simpsons.
I'm saying only watch seasons single digit. With single digits.
Yeah, well,
this is how much we care about the Stanley Cup Final.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I would much rather discuss Simpsons episodes than the Stanley Cup Final.
It is a shame, though, it's a shame that Florida does not draw any sort of attention from the U.S. market at all because they don't really have their own viewership. Well, yes, the Florida teams, even if Dallas made it, Dallas isn't going to draw much viewership either.
It wasn't good.
That's what stinks about hockey. I mean, they'll sell out the arenas, especially during the playoffs. Well, I mean, it's like, it's Rangers, it's LA, it's Chicago, it's Boston.
It really is. I mean,
Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
They have nationwide, even Washington, nationwide fans.
Yeah, Ovechkin, I think, helps that. Yeah.
Yeah. It's why some of these other sports that have, basketball has all-star teams that make it every year because the players just basically all come together and be like, hey, let's go win a championship in this city. Yeah. And then, everyone watches the big stars. Everyone watches the big stars, right? So hockey's never going to be that way. So we need the league to succeed. So me saying that I'm not going to watch this series isn't doing us any favors at all. Even though nobody pays attention to me because everything I say is wrong. So do not follow
here's
anything
a good question.
I do
If McDavid was to leave, do you think it would help hockey if he went to the U.S. team?
Yeah.
Nationally.
And
you
that
think
stinks.
It would be like a huge deal?
It helps the league. And that's what I said. It stinks because Canadian viewership is through the roof.
It's always up.
What happened in L.A.?
I think it's actually doubled.
From Edmonton to L.A. It was a friggin' explosion.
Well, he went to L.A. though. That was kind of
that's what I'm saying.
Itself.
You got to go to a big market.
You don't think McDavid's going to go to a big market if he comes to the U.S.?
Listen, if he went to the Rangers, it would go to
a big market.
Yeah. If he went to New York, it would be the biggest thing since Gretzky going to L.A.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. It'd be huge.
If he did Chicago, which he won't go to Chicago because they're just a dumpster fire. But what
he could
if he went to Pittsburgh or Boston, that'd be huge.
Although I don't know what Bedard's trajectory is at this point. I'm not going off topic.
I think he leaves.
I don't think he's staying. I think they're going to continue to suck.
Yeah,
and he's out.
It almost like he has no. It seems like he just has no passion at all. It goes back to me saying
because draining his life force.
Yeah.
Why on earth don't you go and play in the Worlds? I know it's not the greatest tournament, but your team is dreadful.
Hockey.
You're not going to win the playoffs ever. Why not get a little more hockey in? Macklin Celebrini was there. You had a bunch of young Canadian guys that were there, and
maybe the culture of Chicago is just so
with Crosby, and you could see him so happy.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
you know what though? Maybe the culture and the hockey in Chicago is just so bad. He just looked at it and said, "I
think it
just need
is.
to get away.
You just need to
I
break.
just
It's
have
just so
to get
rotten.
the
Yeah.
hell away." Because we've
Who's
all
their coach now?
we've all been there.
no
It's
idea.
Someone
not
got hired
Lovelace.
like
They just
2
hired an
weeks ago.
assistant, Volucci. It's
Yeah, Vellucci
I
is
don't remember
there.
who they hired.
Someone kind of like a relatively unknown.
Blashill, Jeff Blashill.
That's right.
I thought
He joined.
I thought
he
Blash went
joined
somewhere else. I would've
Mike
said that.
Vellucci, Michael Pekka, and
Forgot.
Anders Sorensen.
Yeah, Vellucci just went there.
So did
and we talked about Taves before. There's talks about him possibly going to Anaheim. You are an idiot if you go play with him. Go to
They might be
Winnipeg
the only team
and
that's
enjoy
willing to
playoffs.
wants him.
give him a
right?
shot.
Yeah, I don't know.
Winnipeg.
Mhm.
Apparently, Winnipeg does because Lowry's going to miss the first part of next season. They could use him as second line center.
Well, I'm all for him coming
Oh,
back in the
let's
league.
see.
I would love to see him back.
Yeah, I like
playing
Taves. I agree.
hockey.
Yeah.
So whatever team he
I-
plays for, it is what it is. But I just
I said it before.
hope I want him
Jesper
to be
Foss.
healthy and playing.
And I'm glad it's
Jesper
not
Foss
Chicago.
retired.
Yeah.
Yanni Gord's re-signed with Tampa for a 6-year deal, $2.3 million
good
per
six-
Schwinn
good
is
con-
the contract.
It's good contract. That's a lot of term. That's a
lot of term. There's no way he's finishing that contract. Guaranteed.
Yeah.
Marcus Johansson re-signed with Minnesota, 1 year, $800,000. Connor Brown is
good
probably
signing,
playing
too.
game 1. Oilers. Yeah, it is. Yeah.
He's like low key, very good depth player, and you got him for 800. That's freaking pretty good.
Yeah. McDavid leads the league in points. Draisaitl behind him, Rantanen, Hopkins, and then Barkov comes in 5th. And then, I mean, obviously, I think McDavid or Draisaitl will probably win if they win the Conn Smythe.
No.
And then, no, you don't think so? If they win, you don't think they'd win?
I don't want them to win. I'm sick of McDavid.
I'm saying the betting favorites are one of
Okay,
Draisaitl,
whatever.
McDavid, and then on the other
Edmonton
side is
wins,
probably Bobrovsky.
give it to one of them. But if Florida wins and they give the goddamn Conn Smythe to Connor McDavid again, I'm gonna riot. That's so stupid. You got to give it to a winning team player. I don't give a shit. He has all these points. He lost. Like you get swept, but you have friggin' 40 points.
Unless you have,
you get swept
I
in the
think the
finals
only
or something
thing,
like
as
that.
far as my
not the
memory
MVP.
goes, because I don't know the league, prior to my memory, but J.S. Jaguar, that is like the only example I've ever seen where he absolutely 100% won that
literally
team to
carried that
Game
entire team.
7 of
Every
the
game.
Cup final against a
Yes.
superior New Jersey Devils
yeah.
team.
Yeah.
And he brought them to Game 7. That is, to me, was the one.
We went over
like I
those
said,
stats.
I haven't seen the rest
on
of
how bad that
Yes.
team was. It was horrible.
Yeah.
That Ducks team was god awful.
Yeah, but these
listen,
last two, like
McDavid-
last year, I don't think he should have won it, and this year, if
He
it
had-
happens again, he definitely shouldn't win it. Should not win it.
This
I don't
year
care
he's
that
not
leading
he's
points.
not in the same
They gotta stop
stratosphere in
doing this
points.
shit.
But last year he had 20 more points than anybody else in the league.
It's like give him the Finals MVP or some bullshit, not the overall.
Yeah, but what was
you lost?
Yeah,
But
It's got to be.
Conn Smythe is-
It's got to be
Conn
somebody from
Smythe
the,
is
the
overall
team that won
playoffs.
the entire.
and
league.
I don't know. I didn't see him take the team
So-
on his back and like carry him there. Like I understand he had
He
a,
just
he
had
had
a lot
ton
of points. That's
but-
all.
So, Steven, prior to your recollection, because this is in '86,
This guy breathes on the puck and he gets an assist.
Yeah,
When-
that's what I was
Does that
saying
like
before.
14 times.
Same before.
Yeah.
Some of his
Sorry,
secondary
go ahead,
assists are
Short Guy.
ridiculous. Some of his primary assists are ridiculous.
when Hextall, when Ron Hextall won the Conn Smythe as a losing goaltender
Not
in
Leah.
'86.
Leah Hextall does
No,
not
not
win the
Leah.
Conn Smythe.
No. This was a Hextall that would punch you in the face.
Oh yeah.
Edmonton was averaging 4.64 goals per game, and Hextall held into 3 or fewer goals in 5 of the 7 games. So, it's just a
That's
quick
good.
stat
I don't know
about.
what his stats were for the rest of the playoffs, but I mean, I know that he was like otherworldly during that.
He also
run.
that year set a single season postseason single postseason NHL records for games played 26, shots against 769, and 698 saves. And he made 86. He made 40 saves in a game 7 and lost.
Yeah.
Like the worst.
Yeah.
Oh, it is. Trust me, it is the worst. I can tell you. Even making 40 saves in a regular game and losing sucks. Yeah. So Hextall was like basically like Jaguar. I mean, comparing
nasty.
goals against and all that stuff now is tough because goaltending in the 80s and goaltending, in the even early 2000s is like just vastly different. But I mean, he earned it. That's fine.
Pushed that a little prematurely. My bad, bud.
Hey, at least you
all
found
right,
it this
well,
time.
Yeah, true. It's gonna be a good series for the people that are gonna watch, unlike Steven. But we'll be back next week, talk about first couple games, see who's kind of leading the charge here. My beer, solid 4.5 Sip Sunshine, always delicious. Lawson's finest, Vermont.
Mine's a 4. Always a 4.
Mine's a 5. It's empty. It'll be
Can
empty
you tell
soon.
what my beer is from the can?
Summer
Hey, Festina.
release.
That's Festina.
Hey,
Festina.
I think I got one left after this.
How
one.
dare you mask that as a Coors Light?
Yeah, what a
Why?
jerk.
Coors Light is obviously a phenomenal beer.
Obviously.
Take her home. You POS.
I just want to say happy birthday to my little one who's turning one year old this weekend. I can't believe it.
Where's our birthday party invite? What the hell?
You guys aren't invited. It's only family.
Why not?
I
We're
thought we
family.
were
I have a small house.
You're an
and I
uncle to
can't
my
fit-
kids.
I can't fit a dean in my house. It's too small.
You could have asked the dean and he would have housed it.
Now,
All right.
why can you have you house my daughter's birthday, you psycho?
This song's gonna be over by the time you guys are finished.
Yeah. All right.
Slug
I love
you.
you guys.
Had it-
Let's get out of here.
Shouldn't have had it at McDonald's.